Good morning, YouTube. This is Chuck, and it's Saturday, May 10th, 2025, about 11 o'clock local time, and I'm headed into town to take you on a tour of a place. And so while we're driving, let me kind of let you know how I heard about this place and tell you a little bit about a background on it before we actually get there. Well, there's a fellow staying at the same RV park that I'm at, and I'm still in Silver City. And I got talking to him, and he told me about a project that he's involved with. And it was something I'd never heard of before, and it instantly caught my attention. And I immediately thought it was pretty cool, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about it. So he invited me down yesterday and took a tour of the place. And I met the people that run it, and I was absolutely fascinated. I was totally kind of, I guess, I use the term blown away a little bit too often, but I was kind of blown away by all this. So basically, let me kind of lay out the premise here. You know, let's just say that you've always wanted to learn how some kind of a piece of equipment works. And you know, for example, let's say a 3D printer. And so you want to learn how one works, and you don't want to go to the store and have some salesman try to sell you one, but you want to figure out how to do it. Maybe see if you're interested in that. Or let's just say that you've always wanted to learn how to weld, and you know, maybe you broke something and it needs to be welded, and you're trying to figure out maybe, you know, how you can figure out how to do it yourself, and maybe learn how to run a welder. Or maybe, you know, who knows what other kind of cutting machine, or metalworking machine, or woodworking machine, or maybe you live in an apartment and you're interested in woodworking, but you don't have a place or the machinery to do it. Or maybe even you're a lady and you want to learn how to make jewelry, or you want to learn how to sew, or you want to learn how to quilt. What if there was a place where you could do any of that stuff? And what if it was run as a 501c3 and it was run by memberships, where you could pay a certain amount a month to become a member there, and you would have access to a whole variety of different machines, and if you didn't know how to run the thing, there's people there that will teach you how to run it. And you know, it's all kind of done like a co-op. And you know, when he told me what that deal was, how that worked, you know, that whole idea kind of fascinated me, because there's a whole lot of people that are interested in learning how to do stuff. And you know, I'm a good example. I'm interested in a lot of stuff, and I want to learn how to, you know, I want to learn how to run a laser engraver or laser cutter, or I want to learn how 3D printing works, you know, all that kind of stuff. Well, that's what this place is. And so I'm gonna take you on a tour when we get over there, and we're still about, oh, I don't know, 10 minutes out. And but anyway, I think you'll be kind of fascinated by the place, and I think you'll be impressed on what they're doing here. So it's called a MakerSpace, and I'd never heard of that term before. But trust me, it's pretty darn cool, and I'll be back in a minute. Well, folks, this is the Future Forge MakerSpace. So let me take you in and show you around. As you can see, we got Saturday. There's a lot of noisy vehicles running around this morning.
Howdy, well, welcome.
Yeah, so this gentleman runs the place. Would you tell the folks your name and what your position is here?
Absolutely. So my name is Stephen Lindsay. I am the board chair and one of the founders of the space here. And this is the Future Forge MakerSpace. So we are a 501c3 makerspace, And what that means is we offer out a diverse range of tools and equipment to the public so that they can use them to empower themselves or learn new skills. We're primarily an educational space, but we're also a place to empower individuals to be able to start their own business, learn a new trade, come in here and do some cool things.
Or just get engaged in an interesting hobby that they've never done before.
Absolutely. An amazing part about this is that we have so many different diverse ranges of tools and equipment and sections, so that one, it's not just learning things, but it's also socializing with people from different backgrounds, different skill sets, and coming together in this one unified section.
Well, sharing the same goals, the same interests.
Absolutely.
Sure.
All for the empowerment of making and creating.
Well, folks, I was actually here yesterday, and I was going to film this yesterday, but last evening was actually the graduation for the Western New Mexico University, which is just up the street, and I actually showed that campus on my last video, my windshield tour video of Silver City. And Stephen here actually got a degree. Tell us what degree you got last night.
Absolutely, yeah. I was predisposed getting my master's in business administration over at Western New Mexico University, and yeah, it was a great endeavor, and I'm happy it's through. But it's been pivotal for this organization to continue running efficiently. So
absolutely
happy to have it done, but I'm grateful for the experience.
And you also got a minor in graphic design, you said?
Also got a minor in graphic design as well.
Well,
so
congratulations,
I dabble
my friend.
in the
on
arts
that.
as well.
So why don't you show us around? Let's start on the back with the big boy toys.
We'll come on back here, and you'll kind of see the back space. So this is our industrial area. As you kind of see, we're still developing it. It's never a finished product. But right here is one of our main tools, which is the 130 watt CO2 laser cutter. So this is a Thunder Laser Nova 61, and it can do 3/4 inch wood in one pass. We can also do industrial things like etching on metals and stones and glass, things like that. Furniture making, all sorts of things. But you know, we have a very diverse range of artists in our community here, and a lot of times it's mainly used for art, which is really cool.
Sure.
But I'm waiting for some cool industrial furniture to come out of this.
Well, and then when I was here yesterday, they were showing me some of this stuff, like that little sign is part of what they can do.
Yeah.
And one of the things that showed me, there's this little box arrangement. And this was all done on that, the cutting and the burning.
Yep. The interesting thing about that, you want to hand that to me,
Sure.
is this is all...
I'm going to get over here because the light's better.
Absolutely. So this is all one piece of wood that goes all the way around, and we're able to score these edges enough to where the wood would wrap.
Would bend, yeah.
It would just bend right into place, and then you pop the ends in, and you're good to go.
So this machine here is kind of the most recent star of the show, and you know, and if somebody was just curious as to what one of these could do and what one looks like,
yeah,
and because nobody could afford to put one of those in their house.
Absolutely. This is a $35,000 machine. Not only is it pretty expensive, but it uses a lot of power, so we have to use industrial power for it, as well as just the square footage.
So you got three-phase power here.
That's right. And so for bigger equipment like this, not only is the equipment really vital for our community as space and power needs go, but yeah, just having that general space to be able to do bigger projects. You know, a lot of people don't have garages these days.
Right,
don't have
live in
their own
apartments.
Shops or live in apartments, exactly.
Yeah, in my intro, one of the things I talked about is if somebody wants to do a wood shop project and they live in an apartment, they not only don't have the tools, but they don't have a place to work.
Exactly.
And so this kind of gives them both.
And space is so valuable
Sure.
these days.
I guess we probably should shut this.
Yeah, we can shut that down, no problem.
And then over...
And the rest of the space here, we have our wood shop over here.
Okay.
Right now, we're actually rearranging it because we got a nice little grant in to get a new saw stop. So brand new saw stop, which is pretty important. I grew up as a son of a contractor. I'm a licensed electrician, but you know, I've never used a guard on a table saw, and that's just how I've done it. I learned it. A lot of people aren't at that point. So we have the highest, and this is the top of the market on safety and versatility.
And then this is a router table?
This is a router table here.
Okay.
And you caught us in the phase of actually just installing it.
Well,
so
that's
this
okay.
Is a great point.
Yeah.
For you to check out what we have here. Also, a new bandsaw that we just got in.
Yeah, I saw the bandsaw yesterday, and there's a little wood lathe and
wood lathe.
And then
absolutely,
big drill press setup.
This is a mortising machine. Yeah,
okay,
so
that's what that is. Okay.
For individuals to make mortise and tenon joinery for like furniture, things like that. I had a demonstration somewhere around here, but it's not here. We also have, if you want to just peek over this way.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
This is a CNC mill.
Okay.
So this uses this computer right here. We're able to control it, put in some really unique designs. And this guy right here will just come in here with a little bit and just drill it all out.
Yeah, and yesterday they told me that this is a work in progress, and what it actually is, it's a relief map of the Gila National Forest.
Yeah, absolutely. You can actually kind of see right here, this is the rough cut, and then in here is actually the more finer cut. So we're working on the definition, but from a satellite view, this is how it would look, and these are like the mountains. Here's the watershed actually leading down into Silver City.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
So
here's another big wood lathe and another bandsaw. Yeah. Looks like a sanding machine. There's a whole sanding station over here.
Stations.
And there's another little CNC machine.
Absolutely.
And then these little baskets here, by the way, are if people have small projects that they're doing, they can just put a piece of tape with their name on it, and they can leave their project here while they're working on it. Or if they got a bigger project over here, they can leave their stuff here. Here's some more you can see that was cut with that laser that we looked at earlier. Yeah. Just very, very, very cool stuff.
Absolutely.
And then on the wall here, of course, he's got all kinds of the tools and everything, just about every tool that you can think of, and you can see where they trace the outline on the wall, so everybody knows where to put it back. And I've got a lot of that same stuff myself, but nothing like we got here. And of course, here again, that's something that was done with the laser machine to remind everybody to clean up after themselves, because your mother doesn't work here.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and if you want to come back over here.
Sure.
So we have a couple of different sections here. One is our lapidary setup.
Lapidary
so you can cut and shape stones here. There's a 14-inch slab saw here.
It's a wet saw for.
Yeah. Yeah. And so anyone who knows about Silver City, and I think this is great that you're helping us get the word out about Silver City. Mm-hmm. We're a very art-centric town. We're a very wilderness-centric town. A lot of rock hounders, a lot of artists.
Right.
So we help empower people who are rock hounders to go out, and then once they find something they're interested in bringing back, they can shape it here. Another great tool is
water jet machine. Yeah.
This is a water cutter. Yeah. So if you cut a slab, you don't have to go through all the process of shaping it into a cabochon or something. You just use this high-pressured water cutter, cuts out the exact shape that you're going to want to see on your slab, and then you can polish it. And we'll go check out this later, but take it to our jewelry section, be able to set it into a pendant or
very cool
ring or something.
The red label on there means that you could hurt yourself pretty easy on this. And like we always talk about saws and stuff, we say they come with an automatic cutoff feature, and that means it'll automatically cut off your arm if it gets a chance to.
That's right. So and we have a lot of those. It's just how the trades work with industrial tools.
And then here's a welding station.
Yep. So we got our welding section in here, which, as you might imagine, are mostly, if not all, red tools in here.
Right.
Since red tools just mean we have to take a little bit more time to train you on them.
Right. Extra hoods on them, hoods for all the students to watch the instructor, and I'm sure you got plasma cutters and
We have stick welding. We have MIG welding. We have TIG welding.
And there's a couple drill presses over there on the side, and looks like a press.
Over here is our cold works metalworking section.
Right.
So this is a little manual mill. A lot of times it's really important that people learn how to use manual mills, or we have CNC mills.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're just like, I just need this little project to be done, and I don't want to have to program it in.
Right.
We're just going to do it manually.
Do it the old way.
That's
sure,
right.
You bet.
Yeah.
They did it that way for 150 years before the other stuff came along.
Tried and true, right?
Right.
So drill presses, pneumatic presses. Under this little hood right here is our sheet metal working station. So you got a roller,
and a drop shear,
and a drop shear, and all types of bending and shear capabilities.
Very cool.
On this one. This one's actually a really good example. We have a gentleman here who, you know, he does gutter work, and
something fell over.
And with that, he can't work with some of the stuff that's imported here, just because of the cost associated with that.
Right.
So he comes in here and he does his business by making his own very specialized gutter attachment. So he specializes in rainwater harvesting.
Okay, yeah, that would be a unique, and I'm sure that works here because you guys get enough rain.
Absolutely, and you know, and water's life. So you know, it's really important for people to be able to do that sort of things on their own.
Is this county friendly to earthship technology?
Absolutely, yeah. Alternative buildings techniques is very important to us here. So like Adobe,
straw bale and tire houses,
pressed earth, tire houses, earth chips,
right?
That sort of stuff.
Very cool.
Very important.
I've actually been up to around Taos, to where the earth ships up there.
Absolutely, Taos is a great example of that.
Yeah.
But we'll kind of come back over this way, and we'll show you the rest of our space here.
Sure, absolutely.
So you know, our computer laboratory in here, printers, that sort of stuff.
So somebody wants to learn how to operate a computer, there'd be somebody.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of software associated with the types of CNC technology we use. And you know, you got to learn that as well.
Sure.
But we also have like photo printers here, so we'll have a lot of photographers and artists here in town.
Very cool.
So that's really important for them.
So my wife was a quilter, so I know a little bit about the sewing stations and the layout board, and like the layout board that somebody's using over here.
Yep. And we host classes in here as well. So this is anything that has to do with fiber arts. Over here, heat presses and
the heat press for making T-shirts, like like the T-shirts up on the wall up there.
Yeah. So this is a heat press that does sublimation transfer.
Right.
This is a screen printer, which that's what did these.
Okay.
But kind of both technologies. Screen printing that goes back way to a very early era.
Right.
And now kind of the early or the new age technology, heat press and sublimation printing capabilities as well. We also have things like our embroidery machine here.
Right.
So our embroidery machine actually is a CNC embroidery machine. And you may have heard me say that word a couple times, CNC. That stands for computer numerical controlled.
Okay.
So that means we have this image that we took off of the computer. And we said, hey, I don't want to have to hand sew this.
Right.
Do it for me, machine.
Sure.
And it will come in here and...
And my wife has one of those as well.
Yeah. So it's really, really cool. This piece here took about 5 minutes to do.
Right.
So
there's probably about 20,000 stitches in there.
Probably something like that. You know, very, very close to that.
And this is the jewelry room, and they showed me this yesterday. There's jewelry making stations here, where somebody can sit and learn the craft of how to make jewelry, and it's kind of cool. They even got their own. Each one's got their own apron and a little thing for setting this stuff on here to do bending and pounding and whatever else you got to do. And
absolutely. And then this sort of side, I mean, you have your learning side over there, which you just showed. This side of things is, I don't have the tools or the space, but I know how to do it.
Right.
Go do
your thing. Polishing station over there.
Stations.
And there's a brazing or silver working station.
Brazing and soldering station over here. We got our cleaning pickle. We got our ultrasonic cleaners. We got our milling machines.
Right.
And
I love that little
saws.
I love that little anvil. That thing's cute as can be.
Absolutely. And this is a specialized ring anvil.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and actually this machine over here I sold yesterday is actually for sizing rings. I could actually use that myself because my fingers got so skinny my wedding ring keeps trying to fall off.
And then you even have the one for bracelets.
Okay.
So this is where you can start with your different size of bracelets.
Right.
Yeah. And then we got the mandrels, which actually do the ring sizing.
The actual ring sizing,
for down to a lot finer of a detail.
Right. Got it. Very cool. So in other words, if I was to want to adjust my ring or make my ring smaller so it wouldn't fall off my finger so easy, there's all the tools necessary to do that are right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, you know.
Isn't that cool?
takes all kinds for what we can do here. And then we have our Clement classroom area. We do have a class going on right now, but we're all doing our thing in here and hosting classes. We have our art section.
So you do art stuff as well, art projects as well.
So painting, beading, a lot of arts and crafts.
So was this piece done by this? Let's make art together. Is that done by one of your students?
This was done by one of our members here, and they actually did this with airbrush. So this whole painting was actually done, other than the letters, was done by airbrush. And
there's another example there in the corner.
Yeah, and that sign.
And even the logo, the logo up there was
laser cut and painted. And we have vinyl cutting machines here as well. Yeah. So this is a 36-inch industrial vinyl cutter.
Yeah, my wife has a smaller one.
Yeah, they're great.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of times we use them for like screen printing. We'll cut out the very intricate stencils. The machine will do it for us.
Very cool.
And we'll screen print it.
So can you tell us what these ladies are doing right now?
Yeah. So hello, everyone. Hello.
Say hello to YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
So what's happening here actually is in efforts to keep down the amount of fiber waste in our landfills. And so Leah and Charmaine and the Women's Fiber Arts Collective are putting together an efforts to repair fiber clothing. And in hopes to keep it out of the landfill, to keep it renewed, to keep it useful.
And help people save a little money in the process for not having to replace stuff. Absolutely.
So, great example is I came in here with a pair of pants. I had a little rip in my back pocket. And one of my favorite pair of pants, didn't want to get rid of it.
So
I was able to bring it down here and
very
they
cool.
fixed it for me.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's a great effort, and we do a lot of things around here. Silver City is a very sustainability-oriented town. So a lot of things like that to keep us more self-sufficient. Yeah, as well as learn a thing or two. So in here is our 3D printer and electronics room. So a lot of what we do in here is electronic repair. So as you can see here, there's a couple of things going on right here. We're repairing computers, but also we 3D print things in here. And like this, we had a kid come in here who wanted a dragon, and he 3D printed his own dragon.
Isn't that cool?
One, we were able to teach him how to.
Oh, absolutely. That's the important thing. Not only, heck, you can go to the store and buy something.
You can go to the store and buy this,
But can you imagine, look at this thing. That's a work of art, folks. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Besides being cute as heck.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. When I was here yesterday, there was actually a couple of young men in here using this machine and making a little deal on that. So I got to actually see that one in operation.
Absolutely, yeah. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 3D printers here. Regular sort of fused filament fabrication, which means they use these lines of filament here. And that's just like a easily meltable plastic. Is that kind of what? Yeah. Some are easily meltable. We're talking this nozzle, the heat carriage here gets up to 300 degrees Celsius. So
that's pretty hot.
Pretty hot, yeah. So we can do pretty high materials. And you'll see some of the stuff up here that was done by it. A little bit of a geometric basis.
Oh, look at that stuff. That's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, we're able to do our logo,
and
things
even the
like
little
that.
falconer there. That's
little characters there.
Yeah, that's absolutely cool.
Yeah, and then we also have our resin printer here. So this does things out of resin. And I'm sure many YouTube viewers are familiar with resin printing. But essentially, there's a vat of resin here that's UV curable, means it cures by light. And this build plate can dip down into it, and the light shines up and cures it layer by layer by layer until you have a printed piece.
That's very interesting.
The great thing about that is it's much more detailed. So we're able to actually get a lot more detail out of that. So we have a diverse range of things here. If you need functional, but it doesn't really.
Well, and the cool thing is you can not only watch it work, but you can learn how to do it yourself.
Absolutely.
And so if you had I have a friend at home that bought a 3D printer recently, and he's an older guy like me, and we sometimes learn a little slow, and he had a heck of a time trying to learn how to use it.
Absolutely. That's a big thing we do. And not only that, with the 3D printers, but we have the computing capability to be able to run those machines.
Right.
If you're doing 3D modeling, you're actually designing your own models. It takes a lot of computing power.
Yeah.
So we have those computers here to be able to have people learn how to make their own models. And not only do they interface with the printers themselves, you're able to make and design your own models.
Very, very cool.
So that's a huge part of 3D printing.
So, folks, this is it's just a little glimpse into what this place can actually do and what they can offer you. And basically, it operates on memberships. And a membership is what, $49 a month? Is that
$45 a month.
$45 a month. You become a member here, and what that does is that enables you to pursue whatever interest you might have. So if your interest starts with metalwork and ends up going to jewelry or something else, that kind of makes you a member here. And that's the cool part about that, is it's kind of like a exclusive club, so to speak. So I thought you'd enjoy this little tour, and we'd like to thank Stephen for taking time this morning to walk us around and tell us a little bit about it. And so as I always tell you, take care of each other and love each other and be grateful for what you have. I'm absolutely fascinated by this place. I wish we had one at home. And so until I talk to you again, let me give you another look over here at that 3D printer in the corner there and tell you peace out.